It's not that bad. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 181 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and how often does it happen to you that you have a problem, but you just say, yeah, it's not that bad, it's gonna pass. And truly, the thing you have at hand, maybe it's not that problematic. But days pass and you forget about it. Suddenly, though, something happens. I would like to discuss with you today what is actually happening and why, and maybe, just maybe, give you a solution as always to deal with it a bit better. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, leaving a like and a subscribe really help. They're just one click, but they really make the difference. For me and for you to see more content like this. Thank you very much. So, let's get into it. What led me here? Nothing particularly this time. I don't think I have an event that, let's say, brought me to talk about this. And I think this is actually important and makes it even more valuable. As most problems, in the various degrees that we can have, the only moment in which we are actually capable of understanding them and analyzing them, it's in a moment of calmness, when nothing is actually pressuring you and you are able to look at things clearly to understand if and where there is a problem. And today we're talking about minor inconveniences. We're not talking about big problems. We're not trying to solve your bigger issues, be it procrastination, self-improvement, self-imagery, or whatever. Again, the big topics that one might tackle in his self-improvement journey. Today, we're talking about the small stuff that you encounter, in your journey, but that aren't really something that you get truly bothered by. It happens, you think about it, you get frustrated, but then you go on. There is a problem, though. The moment that this thing starts being recurring, and when I mean recurring is every single day, when every single day there is that little friction, there is that little thing that is pushing you. It's, if you can imagine, coming back home and every time, before entering your doorstep, there is an actual, step. And every day, since you're tired, since you forget, or whatever it is, or just because it's built wrong, you just trip on it. And every time you say, oh my God, I hate this. And you do nothing, you just go forward. The problem is that when it's just one thing, when it's just that step, when it's just that person that bothers you, or when the train is not on time, whatever, it's okay. It's okay because, let's say, your level of frustration is not filled. You might be bothered by the things. Some days it might be bothering a bit more or a bit less, but overall you're fine. There is a problem though. And the problem starts when your level of frustration starts piling up. And these small inconveniences start becoming more and more. And this is not something, and the problem is that, as I was saying, is not something that you realize. Because they're small. They appear one day maybe not. Maybe today is something else. But if you start actually, taking a few steps back and looking at the whole situation, saying, yeah, it's not that bad, becomes a bit unrealistic. Why? Because suddenly, and that is the real kicker, that suddenly on your major tasks, on the major problems that you're trying to prove, you're starting to slow down. You're starting to drift, you're more fatigued, you're easily, angrier, or overall, your level of focus is lower. And you can't really understand why, because you're following the plan, you're doing everything that you had in your mind, and, you're trying to just improve. So why are things just not working out? The problem is that sometimes it's these small factors outside of your main activity, out of your main interest, that are trying to interfere without you noticing. And the key word here is noticing, and it's part of the solution that I want to propose to you today. When something starts to bother you, when something is actively and recurringly taking part of your day, of your weeks, or overall, it's something that you can start seeing, there are two simple things that you can do, which are actionable right now after listening to this video, and will help you to, again, lower that tolerance towards these small factors. First is acknowledging it. It's not just, this thing is bothering me. Oh my God, a few seconds pass and you go on. If on one way, it's actually important to go on and not get stuck, on that thing. On the other way, if you end up doing this for all the things that are happening in your life, at some point, you will forget about some. So, as I always say, try to be present. Recognize that thing and, write it down, note it. Overall, try to hold it accountable for the things that are happening to you. And the second, try to understand, is it something I can avoid? Even though it will bring a small sacrifice, being 5 minutes late to whatever place you're going, or indeed taking 5 minutes more to do your daily task that involves that little problem, changing routine in any way that it's achievable. Overall, trying to find alternatives, even though again, in the small term, they will require sacrifice, you'll see that slowly, again, that tolerance will start to become again tolerable, and you'll be able to start focusing again on the things that matter. I can see this in myself, for example, with fatigue. In the days in which I overtrain, or in the days in which I do too much sport, I end up at the end of the day, after I finish working, I'm like, today I was so unproductive. Today I wasn't able to do all the things that I wanted to do. But I don't really know why, because I'm following my same routine, I'm trying to do my best work, and yet I seem to fail. And after a few days, I realized that the moment that, in which I change my routine, I lower the amount of volume that I'm carrying, and overall I get annoyed by less things, I magically start to get back to things, doing the same thing in the same way, at the same time, nothing is changed, except all these things around me. So try to be curious and also pay attention to those things, because sometimes they just lurk in the shadows and you just don't see them. But there is a simple way to do that. Just pay a bit more attention, live a bit more in the moment, and if you have a chance, just avoid them. Having said that, that was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. It's something that truly boggles me that we have so many hidden things in our daily lives that just pass, and I'm fascinated by the limited amount of, brain power that we can dedicate to those things, because again, we are bothered by much more important things. But in the end, it's all about taking action and, being present. I would like to talk, in future episodes also more about that, what it takes and what it means to be in the moment. Because again, on words, it's very easy, but yeah, struggling myself, and I'm sure you're too, even though you on paper know what to do. So if you like this episode, leaving a like and subscribe really, really help as always. And what else? Until the next one, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and see you tomorrow.